What's going on, guys? TTL here. Just a quick reminder before we get started in today's video. I'm giving away up to $500 this Friday, July 4th, and every Friday after that for the rest of July. So every Friday in July, I'm giving away up to $500. All you have to do is join the free Discord. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. And then all you have to do is just leave a check mark reaction on the giveaway post. There's nothing else you have to do. No signups, no deposits anywhere, nothing. So make sure you guys get entered into that for free by joining the Discord. Let's go ahead. We're gonna have 5 picks for today in today's video. Let's recap yesterday's picks and then recap yesterday's VIP picks as well. If you're interested in VIP, the WAP link and the Patreon link are in the description. But starting off, yesterday's free picks, we did hit the Joe Ryan under 5.5 hits allowed. Shane Baz went over. We had his under, and then Flaherty was a DNP. These two are iffy because the game got postponed, so technically they're not losses, they're not wins. To be fair, we should cash out on the Brady Singer because he shouldn't come back. I wouldn't think. The Jaron Duran is iffy. Who knows? But it's really hard to tell you guys honestly what the hit rate was for yesterday. Technically, it's 1-1 so far. Hopefully, we end up being 3-1. But as of right now, it's 1-1, and it's really hard to tell how that's gonna go. Um, for the VIP picks yesterday was Taco Tuesday, so you guys know we took advantage of that. We had plenty of wins with all the tacos, as well as this 2 pick where I had Myers under bases and Mead under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. So great day yesterday. We also did do a Ryan Fitz, I think that was his first name, but Fitz over 0.5 walks with the Joey Chestnut hot dog. So we're waiting on that to cash out as well. If you guys are interested, again, the WAP and the Patreon are in the description. And then let's get into today's picks. You guys can always use code TTL over on Underdog, and you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash as well as a free month of VIP. So that's always an option for you guys. But our first prop today that we're going to take is going to be Will Warren. We're going to take his over 4.5 strikeouts. This is a full payout. Now, the only thing that makes me a little bit iffy is that he is against Toronto, and the Blue Jays have one of, if not the lowest strikeout percentage. I think it's like 18% or 19% strikeout percentage this season. So that is that. But 4.5 strikeouts should be pretty easy for Will Warren. When we head over to predictiveprofits.ai, this is a website I created, and we search up Will Warren, we can see his strikeouts at 4.5. He's went over at a projected hit rate of 78.62%, which is just absolutely lovely. When we take a look and we click on him, we can see he's went over in 4 of his last 5, with the one game he went under being versus the Royals, where he had 4 strikeouts. Over his last 10, he's went over in 8 of 10, and the only other game he went under was versus the Dodgers when the Dodgers had 18 runs. That one is absurd. He also only went 1.1 innings pitched, so that's obviously something that's going to be a little bit of an outlier there. And then in 2025, he's went over in 13 of 17 games, a 76.5% hit rate this season. He had one in this game where the Rays had 3 runs and he only went 1 inning. And then he had 4 in this game where he went 5 innings versus the Diamondbacks. So the only games he's went under when he went 5 or more innings was versus the Diamondbacks and then versus the Royals. So, and he also only went under by 0.5. So I'm loving this versus Toronto today. We have him projected for 6 to 6.5 strikeouts today. So we can see him getting 6, maybe even 7 strikeouts in this matchup for Will Warren. This is a full payout prop over on Underdog. So this one is a no-brainer for me. Let's lock it in and move on to prop number 2. Prop number 2 is going to be Tanner Bibby. We're going to take his under 5.5 hits allowed. This one, yet again, a full payout versus the Cubs. Loving this matchup for him. Let's go ahead and take a look. So we're going to go back to the props, type in Bibby, and we can see right here, Tanner Bibby hits allowed 5.5. The under is at a 74.75% projected hit rate. And when we take a look, he's went under this in 4 of his last 5. Now he did give up 11 hits to the Athletics, which is crazy by the way, but he did go 8 innings as well. That's even crazier that he went 8 innings with 11 hits allowed. But last 10, he went under in 7 of 10. We add on the Dodgers game, which kind of makes sense that he would give up 7 hits there, and then versus the Reds, he gave up 10. This season, he's went under in 75%, 12 of 16 games. And the only other game he went over was versus the Angels, where he gave up 9 hits allowed on April 5th. And when we take a look at the Cubs batters, we can see versus Bibby, we don't really have any large sample sizes for any of these players, just 2 and 3 at bats. But with the low sample sizes that we do have, Ian Happ got 1 hit and 2 at bats. Kyle Tucker got 1 hit and 3 at bats, and then there wasn't a single other hit for the lineup. So we have, what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 9, so 17 at bats and only 2 hits versus Bibby. That one's a no-brainer for me. I'm loving the under 5.5 hits allowed, and I actually disagree. So the projection details, they have him projected for 5.44, so barely under that 5.5 hits allowed. I personally think he only gives up 3 or 4 hits today. It's very possible he gives up 5, or even 6, but with a projected hit rate of 74.75% and against this Cubs batters, and for a full payout over on Underdog, I'm going to risk that. I think he either stays at 3, 4, or 5. Most likely 3 or 4, though. So I'm loving this for Tanner Bibby. Let's lock this in and move on to our third prop of the day. Our third prop is going to be, Kikuchi, and we're going to take his under 2.5 earned runs allowed. This is another full payout prop. So you could play this 3 pick for a 6x, any variation of the 2 picks for a 3x, however you want to do that. But Kikuchi over on Predictive Profits, we can take a look, and it looks like his line may have gotten taken down from Prize Picks. Let me see if maybe they have some goblins or demons. So we can take a look at his goblin right here, and we're just going to remember that we're taking the under, right? So we're going to go ahead and do this at a 2.5. So under 2.5 has hit in 60% of the last 5, 3 of the last 5. It's hit in 8 of the last 10, and it's hit in, what is that, 11 of 17 this season. So around a 65% hit rate on the under 2.5 earned runs allowed. Now he is against the Braves today. We have him projected for 1.61. And now obviously the projected hit rate is not going to be accurate because we're looking at the Goblin over 1.5 technically. But I just use the alt line right here and change it to 2.5. But Kikuchi under 2.5 earned runs allowed. I'm loving this. He is versus the Braves. But when we take a look at the Braves, they don't really have much going for them versus Kikuchi. Now we're seeing 2 hits and 3 at bats, 0 in 2, 1 in 2. Matt Olson is the only one, and Sean Murphy, who actually have really big sample sizes, 23 at bats and then 10, 5 and 23, a .308 OBP, a .09 OBP for Sean Murphy, 1 in 3, 1 in 1, 1 in 2. There's just nothing that really impresses me with that Braves lineup versus Kikuchi. So we're going to go ahead and take his under 2.5 earned runs allowed. Let's go ahead and take that. And let's go ahead and move on to the 2 props that are going to be on the sportsbook section of the player prop list. And move on to Austin Slater. We're going to take his under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I'm loving this versus the Dodgers tonight. This game doesn't start until 10 p.m. Very late game here. And when we search up Slater, we can see the hits, runs, RBIs is minus 145 on sportsbooks. It's projected to hit at an 82.21% projected hit rate. And when we take a look at it, we can see he's went under in 4 of his last 5, 8 of his last 10, and in 29 of 35 this season, an almost 83% hit rate on the under 1.5 HRR for Austin Slater. And to add on to that, he's against Clayton Kershaw, who is a great pitcher as well. Kershaw's only giving up 4 hits per game, only 1.6 earned runs allowed per game this season on average. So I'm loving this matchup for Austin Slater to take the under here. And we have him projected for 0.92, so under 1 even. But even if he gets the 1 HRR, that's fine with me. A projected hit rate of 82%, that's a no-brainer. And then fifth and final, our prop is going to be Ian Happ, and we're going to take his under 1.5 bases at 0.82x. Now, this prop is a beautiful one. Now, I will say he does not have much data versus Bibby, but he was the one batter that did decent for the Cubs versus Bibby, but I don't think it's enough for him to go over the 1.5 bases. And when we take a look at Ian Happ, we can see it's minus 160 on the under on sports books, and the under has a projected 70.75% hit rate. We can see he went under this in 5 straight games, 8 out of his last 10, and in 68.4% this season. And again, he's against Bibby, who's given up 2.5 earned runs allowed per game, 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, and around 1.5 walks allowed per game. We have Ian Happ for 1.25 bases today. Hopefully, he just gets a single if he does get a hit. Hopefully, we get the best of both worlds here, and he just doesn't even get a hit. So it doesn't count as a hits allowed for Bibby, and it doesn't even count as a base for him. That would be lovely. Even if Bibby decides to just walk him, I would love that. But that's going to round out our 5 free picks for today's video. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I uploaded an hour-and-a-half long video yesterday. And it's just more evergreen content for the channel. And I go over the exact strategy I use to pick all my picks. I go over how to read the odds on sports books. I go over how to read multipliers on pick'em apps like Underdog. And I just go over the whole 9 yards on how to start being profitable with pick'em apps. So if you guys are interested in that, go check that out. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the love, and I will see you guys in the next video.